North Korea, a country also known as Democratic People's Republic of Korea, is a communist country based on Stalinist spirit. North Korea is located in the borders of China, Russia, and South Korea. North Korea has 120,538 square feet kilometer with 25,248,140 number of population. The median age is 33.8 and the life expectancy is 70.38 years. The capital city is called Pyongyang and personal GDP is 12.38 billion US dollar. Here are demographic trends in North Korea. This is the crude birth rate trends. From 18,000 to 1930, the birth rate was stable and stayed in the rate of 42 per 1,000. But from 1923, the birth rate started to decrease. In 1923, since Korea was colony of Japan, Japanese started to kill all the Koreans as much as they see them, and this affected the small decreasing happened. After that, the birth rate recovered during 1940 but dropped with enormous amount in 1950 when Korean War occurs. Korean War led 54,246 people to die. After all the Korean War, the birth rate has went back up but decreased again at 1965 when North Korea started to build Stalinist country. This is the crude death rate trends. The death rate was decreased from 1950, the year that Korean War occurred, to 1990. Because at that point North Korea was more wealthier than South Korea, all survivors from the war moved to North Korea. Death rate stayed the same for about 10 years during 1980 to 1990. But from 1993, because of the campaign called Arduous March, North Korean famine started. North Korea had to march with no food and no energy in the name of saving the country, which led 100,000 people to die. This is the child mortality trend. From 1950, the child mortality started to decrease until 1985. The child mortality rate was 480 per 1,000 at 1950, but at the end of 1985, it decreased until 34.7 per 1,000. But from 1985, there were little increase happened until 2005 with the rate of 75.7 child mortality. After that, the rate stayed almost the same, but from 2010 to now on, child mortality is keep decreasing with lowest 24.9 per 1,000. This is the total fertility rate trends. From 1950 to 1957, total fertility rates scored 5 and keep increased during Korean War. But from 1950 to 59, it started to decrease until 4, and after that at 1970, it increased again. There were main domestic development happened in North Korea which government encouraged citizens to have more babies, but after 1970 until 1995, total fertility rate kept decreased and reached 2. From 1995 to until now on, the rate stays still 0.2. During 1950 to 1952, huge decrease happened from 35.8 years to 24.8 years. But it started to increase from 1952 to 1960 and reached 69.7 years. But in 1995, there were unexpected drops suddenly happened from 69.7 years to 58.6 years. Fortunately, after 2002, the life expectancy increased again back to 69.7 years. At 2015, it scored the highest rate, which was 72.1 years. These are population and distribution and physical maps. The capital city Pyongyang is the most dense city in North Korea with 2.581 million number of people. Hamhung is the second most populated city in North Korea. It's also quite close to Pyongyang. Now, if you look at the geographic map of North Korea carefully, we can find common things about the cities that are most populated. Most populated cities have less mountains near the water and has flat grounds. But comparing to that, if we look at the upper part of North Korea, where least populated cities are joined, we can see that the lands are not flat, almost covered up with mountains and not really near the water. These are population pyramids. First of all, this is the population pyramids from 1960. All the middle age group are disappeared due to the sacrifice towards their country. By that, the birth rate has increased with 8.4%, and those young age groups stays constant with high rates. But as we go up to the old age group, the population decreased slowly from 4.8% to 0.2%, and average life expectancy seems like to be about 70s. And the ratio of male and female population seems almost the same. In 2010, the working age group, which is the middle age group, has been recovered from 1960, which can be referred to the economic growth happening. But the child fertility rate has been decreased a lot from 8.4% to 3.6%, and life expectancy seems to be staying constant from 1960. In the future for North Korea 2016, the life expectancy has increased until 1904 to 99 years. There is now no more dance in one specific part of age group, but the birth rate has decreased a bit. My population plans are: first, North Korea have to make a campaign slogan or advertisement that encourages people to have a baby to increase the number of population, which is keep decreasing. Secondly, the government have to build the facility system and welfare facilities out of capital cities to prevent the dense populated in the capital cities but no population in the countryside. It will also increase the life expectancy as well. Lastly, the government have to provide the better environment for the babies or children who is going to be their future. By providing such as incubators, regular healthcare check facilities, the government have to be more serious about the baby fertility rate that is keep decreasing.